Teacher Ssendegeya Fred. I'm going to handle entrepreneurship as a subject in senior one in the lower secondary curriculum. You may find that the curriculum was revised to ensure that we can be able to produce learners who are competent on the labor market. So with that regard, we are looking at entrepreneurship as a subject which can as well help our learners to compete favorably. And also, if you look at the challenge which we have in the country, the challenge of high rate of unemployment, you may look at youth. 80% of the youth in Uganda are unemployed. So you may find that such youth are causing a lot of pressure to the government and also to other prominent people in the society in order to assist them to get what to do. So entrepreneurship subject was looked at as a priority, as a subject which will help as well to give skills, to train learners with values, to train learners with competences, which will help them in one way or the other to be in position to become job creators instead of job seekers. Therefore, you may find that as a learner, you are supposed to put all your efforts together. And you may find that entrepreneurship was made a compulsory subject to ensure that each and every learner can be in position to get skills, to get the competences, to get the values, which will help him or her in order to set up his or her own business without looking out for a job. So we look at some of the terms like number one, entrepreneurship. So any person who can define for us entrepreneurship, any person, you put up your hand. Philip, what is entrepreneurship?
Entrepreneurship refers to the spirit of taking a risk to set up a business to produce and sell goods or services with an aim of earning profits.
Getting profits. Thank you so much for that wonderful explanation. Then another person who can define entrepreneurship education, having heard from Philip. Who it is? Isabella.
My hand was for
Isabella.
My hand was for entrepreneurship.
Okay, can't you try out the second one? Fausta.
Entrepreneurship is the ability, all capacity, all willingness of a person to develop and organize a business venture with an aim of making profits.
With an aim of making profits. Yeah, Fausta, thank you so much. Let me request that we move to the third slide. Our third slide. That is great. So when we look at entrepreneurship, refers to the spirit of taking a risk to set up a business or an enterprise to produce and sell goods or services in order to meet the customer's needs with an aim of earning profits. So you may find that in any venture you are going to engage in, you have to take up a risk. So you may find that whichever small amount you may have, or the money you might have, that money may seem to be not so much. And you may find that sometimes you fear to lose that money, but there is no way you can engage in a business without taking a risk to invest that money with hope that you will be in position to get profits. So with entrepreneurship, here you have to be with that spirit of taking up a risk, which risk will help you to have a business established or an enterprise. And you are in position to produce goods and sell those goods in order to be in position to get the what? To get the profits. You have to ensure that you meet customers' needs. You have to ensure that you produce goods which are needed and required by customers. I have some hands up. Philip, any question? Philip, any question before I proceed?
I wanted to give the answer for entrepreneurship education.
Okay, we are going to look at it. Let me first deal with entrepreneurship. Thank you, Fausta. Fausta? Fausta?
Yeah.
Any question? Any question? Okay. So with entrepreneurship, you have to be with that spirit, which will help you to be in position to set up a business or an enterprise to produce and sell goods in order to meet the customers' needs. Because remember, a business comes from the needs of customers. Once you solve the problems of customers, then you are in business and will be in position to earn profits. So we move to the next slide. Yeah, so we look at examples of entrepreneurship. So if you look at that lady, so which kind of business is taking place? Members, which kind of business is taking place? I think you are viewing. Which kind of business is that? You put up your hand. I think you are seeing a photo, a lady who is working there, so happy. So which kind of business is that? Members, give it a try, because you may find that you have even such businesses in your places. Which kind of business? Which kind of business? Yeah, I can see someone having the hand up. Someone, Abigail. Abigail?
Trade.
Trade business? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that answer. So if you look at that lady indeed, she's working in a retail business. Which business is under trade business? So she was in position to come up with items for selling in order to make profits. Therefore, she is an entrepreneur. That is the reason why you look at her so happy, because you may find that she has items to offer to customers, so that customers' needs can be catered for. That is the reason why she has basically items which we need in day-to-day lives. So you may find that you may see that she's having tea leaves, she's having so many other things. So you may find that those things in one way or the other are the ones which are required basically by customers. We move to another slide. Yeah, entrepreneurship education is the process of imparting knowledge, skills, and values in the learners to, number one, identify opportunities around them. So we have a challenge that people do not take up or cannot easily identify opportunities around them. Yet you may find that in one way or the other, we have so many opportunities around us, which we can venture in, and we can be in position to have businesses established. So you may find that one of them, for example, in an urban setting, there is an opportunity of high population. How have you used that opportunity of high population to see that you can be in position to provide goods and services to such people in order to get profits? So for us, we are going to equip you with the knowledge and skills so that you can be in position to identify opportunities around you. You use them in order to do something. So you may find that if you are in a place where you may find that eatables, escorts, people cannot easily get them. So for us, we are going to equip you with skills of baking, with skills of marketing the products, with skills of selling your products, with skills of handling customers, so that you can be able to use the opportunities around you. Then undertake business activities with a view of earning profits. So here you may find that you will be in position to take up business activities. You may find that youth nowadays, they do not want to work. So for us, we want to be able to ensure that you people, you are in position to embrace. You are in position to embrace hard working, because there is no way you will be in position to earn profits when you are not hard working. Someone was asking the meaning of the word impart. The meaning of the word impart is to instill knowledge. Are we there? So that you people will be in position to know how a business can be handled, to know what you are supposed to do in the business to earn profits, whereby we shall equip you with financial management skills. How will you be in position to handle money in the business so that it does not collapse? In Uganda today, 75% of the businesses do not reach their first birthday because people need knowledge and skills of running their businesses. So it is going to be our initiative to see that you can engage in business activities with knowledge, with the skills of dealing with customers, with the skills of dealing with workers, to ensure that you can earn profits. We move to another slide. Then we look at a person who involves him or herself in a business. That one is an entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? This is a person who produces new or better goods, or selling them to customers and making new. Is a person who takes up risks, organizes a business with an aim of making profits. So an entrepreneur is a risk taker. So engaging in production, it means you invest in your money. Once you invest in your money, you just aim at making profits, but you find that you can make losses. So an entrepreneur commits his or her resources, such as money, as I've told you, uses his money, as well as time, as well as land, machines, and labor to start and operate a business venture. So it is all about commitment. We want to instill that spirit of commitment in you, our learners, to ensure that you can be in position to use whichever thing you have. If you have money, you will be in position to use time, land, machines, and labor to start and operate something instead of waiting for a job, whereby in Uganda now the challenge is that jobs are not available. We are now looking at you as people who are going to become job creators. We move to the next slide. We can move to the next slide. So we can move to the next slide. So we look at also other reasons. Yeah, we look at the work which you'll be in position to look at. We look at chapter number 1. It will be all about introduction to entrepreneurship education. So we have to look at basically why entrepreneurship education is taught. Number 1, to provide learners with the knowledge and skills needed to succeed in the business environment. So here, you learners, you have to get knowledge. We have to impart knowledge and skills in you to be in position to run businesses successfully. As I've told you, some businesses do not reach their first birthdays because you may find that people lack knowledge and skills. So we want to impart skills of financial management. Some people mishandle the money in the business. If you start your own business, the money you get from the business is owned by the business. That money is not yours. So you are not supposed to misuse that money. If you are supposed to get some money from the business, you take yourself as a worker and you can dictate the money you are supposed to earn as a working money out of the business. Such issues are the ones which have contributed to the collapse of the businesses. How do you deal with the customers? Some people, they don't know how to handle customers. So customers end up running away. Then number 2, to enable learners to identify business opportunities. So you may find that here we have to ensure that you people, you are in position to identify business opportunities, whereby we are supposed to start from school, that you can easily identify business opportunities within your school environment. So we shall be able to do that, and your teachers will help you to identify business opportunities, to see that even if you leave school and you go back in your community, you can easily single out those opportunities. Then to enable learners to acquire practical skills. As I told you, you may find that someone has a talent of baking. So we shall make sure that we equip you with skills of baking so that you can be able to come up with half cakes, donuts, which products as well you can be in position to sell out, because practically you are supposed to ensure that you have something you can produce. Which item can you present on the market for sale? That is the best question. What can you do? We have to ensure that practically each and every person can do something. To emphasize and help students to develop their imaginative and risk-taking abilities in the businesses. So we have to ensure that we can give you skills of being able to take up the risks, to see how you can come up with risk assessment, to ensure that you do not make a loss if you do not make a lot of losses if you engage in the business, because you have the skills of risk assessment and see that you can move on with a business of moderate risk, as you will be in position to move from one level to another. It will be a benefit on your side. Some people venture into risks which are so high when they are just starting, and they end up losing each and everything. Then to enable instructors teach the elements of entrepreneurship. So we shall look at basically elements of entrepreneurship to see that as well you can be in position to know what you are supposed to do as an entrepreneur. Then so in that introduction chapter, we have looked at meaning of entrepreneurship, purpose of entrepreneurship. We have also looked at meaning of an entrepreneur. Then we look at qualities of an entrepreneur. So I've talked about some of them. I've talked about some of them. Can you also as well give me some qualities of an entrepreneur? Even you have seen a photo of a lady who is an entrepreneur. Can you try at least to come up with some qualities of an entrepreneur? Yeah, Philip?
You should be an opportunity seeker.
Thank you very much. An opportunity seeker, that is marvelous. Lisa?
An entrepreneur should be creative.
Creative, marvelous, creative, coming up with new things. Joel? Joel? Joel?
An entrepreneur should be ready to take necessary risks.
Yeah, should be a risk taker. An entrepreneur should be a risk taker. Lucy? Lucy?
He should be hardworking.
Yeah, should be hardworking, working for long hours. But you find someone opening up a shop at 2 p.m. It will be very hard for that one to prosper. Fausta?
An entrepreneur should be confident.
Should be confident. Are we there? Believing in what he or she does, knowing that he will be able to be successful in a business. Christine? Christine?
An entrepreneur should be observant.
Should be?
Observant.
Observant? Okay, thank you. Marion? Marion?
An entrepreneur should be patient.
Yeah, should be patient, because you may find that in one way or the other you have to wait for some time in order to earn reasonable profits from your business. Evans? Evans?
An entrepreneur should be well skilled.
Well
skilled.
Well skilled, yeah. So an entrepreneur should have skills which can help him or her to run that specific business. Let us sum up with Mirembe. Mirembe.
An entrepreneur should be friendly.
Should be friendly. Yeah, you should take care of your customers in terms of service. You should ensure that you embrace the issue that someone has come to your shop. So you should treat customers as the kings and queens in your business. Thank you so much. We move to the next slide. Yeah, so we shall also look at the benefits of being an entrepreneur. We shall look at creativity and innovation, yeah, to see that in one way or the other you bring in such aspects, anything new. Then innovation is to improve an item which already exists on the market to ensure that you can have more customers. We shall look at meaning of creativity and creativity in business, how to become creative, innovation in business, types of innovation, importance of innovation, and how to become innovative. So we shall look at all that work in a more detailed way. We move on to the next slide. Mr. Isaac, yeah. Then, as we have talked about risk, that an entrepreneur has to take up risks. So you may find that we in the business, meaning of risks, what does it mean? With your money, which might not be a lot, you assess the risk you are going to engage in, because at the start, it is not advisable to start a business which is of high risk. So if it is possible, you can as well start with a low risk business or even moderate. But in one way or the other, if you start with a high risk business, you may fail out and you to be in position. You may manage fire outbreak in the business. Another one, losses. How do you manage losses? So here you can be in position to take up insurance covers. Then we look at technology and business. We shall look at the meaning of e-business, that is electronic business. How can you do it in the best way possible to ensure that as well you move on with the electronic era in which we are in, the digital era, to ensure that you do your things in a modern way. How is it done? Then we shall look at advantages of e-business. And we also look at challenges of using e-business. Babidi, I can see your hand up. Any question, Babidi, you can ask. Babidi, ask.
Not teacher.
You can ask Babidi. Babidi. Let us proceed. So we shall to look at businesses in Uganda. So we have various types of businesses, and if you involve yourself in, we have also cultural businesses. We shall give it one you can involve yourself in. Then also success business, and the meaning of success and indicators of success. Once you are operating a business, you'll be in position to know that your business is progressing or it is not progressing. You can move on. Mr. Isaac, we can move on. So now we are moving to our next slide. We shall also look at benefits of a successful business and entrepreneur. Once a business is successful, you as an entrepreneur, you'll be in position to benefit. The rewards from a successful business will be enjoyed by an entrepreneur. Therefore, that is the reason why in Uganda we have people who are rich, because they are entrepreneurs. they are enjoying the benefits that their businesses are successful, like earning reasonable amount of income. So that is one of the benefits an entrepreneur will get. Okay, Elijah, I've received your message. Then we shall also look at factors that lead to business failure. Which factors can fail you in a business? Are we there? For example, mismanagement of finance or money in the business can lead to business failure. Poor customer care. If you do not care for your customers so well, the business will fail out. We move to the next slide. Then in chapter 3, we shall look at business ideas and business opportunities. A business idea, what does it mean? Are we there? Resources, where can you get a business idea from? So you may get a business idea from an experience, get a business idea from one, you should be in position to have, they can be in position to help you to get a business idea from there. Then generating business ideas. How do you generate business ideas? One of them can be like brainstorming. There, you discuss with your colleagues. As you go back to school, we have some clubs like Entrepreneurship Club. You discuss as members. What can we do as a club to see that we can earn something, to see that we can do something as well, to be practical learners of entrepreneurship. Now, how will you select a good business idea? So we shall look at all those steps. We shall also look at characteristics of a good business opportunity. What shows that a business opportunity is worthwhile? For example, if there is availability of market, then it shows that that business opportunity is worthwhile. So we can move on. Then market survey, because market survey is something, is a topic which is so important, which you cannot do away with when it comes to business. Because before even starting a business, you have to carry out market survey, or what I can say market research, to find out who your customers will be. Don't just start producing items not knowing which people are going to consume those products. So you have to carry out market survey. Then the meaning of a market. What does the market mean? Then the meaning of a market survey, yeah, I've talked about. So it is all about going out and identifying who your customers are before you start producing. Some people start producing not knowing who their customers are. Then the benefits of conducting a market survey. So we shall look at some of them. For example, increase in sales. If you carry out market survey, you will be in position to identify most of the customers whom you didn't know, and such will help you to increase on your sales. Then conducting a market survey, how do you go about that? Steps in conducting a market survey. You have to prepare yourself if you are going for a market survey. First of all, you identify the business opportunity. Are we there? You want to engage in, because you don't just carry out market survey without identifying that specific business opportunity you are going in for. Then preparation for conducting a market survey. How do you prepare yourself? For example, you have to do with the tools which can help you to carry out a market survey. Do you have a questionnaire? Do you know how it looks like? What are you supposed to use that questionnaire if you go in the field? How do you handle people in order to get information from them? So we shall also look at such presentation of a market survey information. If you are from the field, you have come back, how do you present the information you have got from there? Can you write a report to tell us how the market survey was? Because you may find that that one is so important. Besides that, we can move on. Yeah, chapter 4, after conducting a market survey, now we look at business startup process. Which are the steps do you go in? You go in if you are to start a business. It matters a lot. If you do not prepare, then you prepare to fail. One of the steps out there, you have identified a business opportunity. You conduct a market what? You conduct a market survey. After conducting a market survey, what are you supposed to do out there? There are various steps you are supposed to go through, which will help you to start and run the business effectively. Then we look at factors that enable an entrepreneur to start up a business. Which factors will help you? Availability of capital. You have to be with some money out there. Knowledge and skills of a particular business opportunity. You cannot say that you are going to engage in baking when you don't have the skills of baking. So such factors out there, the production factors, you have to ensure that you have them as you are to start out there. Then we look at sources of business finance. Where are you going to get the money to start a business? The most important source, the most important source is personal savings. First, save your money. So learners, if you have your money, don't consume all the money. Don't use all the money. Save. If you have 1,000, at least save 200. In the future, if you have a vision of starting a business, you will be in position to use that money which would have accumulated to start a what? A business. It is possible. You can also get a contribution from the family, friends. It is also a source of finance. You can also be able to get a donation or a grant. So we shall look at saving and investment factors that determine savings, because the only best opportunity to start a business is through saving, using your own money, not borrowed money. So factors that determine investment, we shall also look at them over there. For example, government policy about investment. Once it favors investment, you may find that someone can invest in a business. Then forms of savings. How can you save over there? Then saving plan. How can you make a saving plan? One of them I can talk about. Before you spend, first save. Most of the Ugandans have a challenge. They first spend, then they save. But the best is to save before you spend. So we shall look at how you are supposed to plan for saving. Then location of a business. You have to locate a business in a place which is accessible, which is a suitable place. That is the reason why you cannot establish a business in a desert, because in a desert, people are not easily available. So you may find that you find out a place where you have reasonable number of people who are going to be your customers, and they can easily access your business. That is the reason why businesses are always along the roads where they can easily be accessed. Then we look at factors affecting influencing location of a business. What influences a business to be located? Accessibility. Are we there? Goods are supposed to be good. Are we there? You have to locate your business in a place which is so good. For example, we have our business center in Kampala, Chikubo. They had a load which was not so good. They had to ensure that that load is worked upon because they were threatened that customers will run away. So you have to ensure that accessibility is worked upon. Then chapter number 5, we shall talk about government revenue. So with government revenue, we shall look at the introduction. What is government revenue? What is it all about? Because there is no way our country can develop without paying revenue, without paying taxes. So we shall look at its meaning. We shall look at the importances of government revenue. We shall also look at sources of government revenue, where the government gets money from. Because you as a learner, once you become an entrepreneur, you will be such an important person to our country to ensure that in one way or the other, you contribute towards government revenue. So in our curriculum, we are going to have the new curriculum for lower secondary. We are going to ensure that we teach you and you learn when we are using one of them, the class activities. Classroom activities, they are going to be so important. So learners, you are supposed to involve in each and every class activity. Some learners, they just take those activities as a way of just trying to play around with the friends. But for us teachers, we shall be observing what you are doing. Even if you are discussing, we shall be able to ensure that you discuss. And also, once you are involved in such activities, be able to do your best. That if you are given a particular task, you do that task as required, because it is going to be a learning process. If you are made a secretary in a group, do that work, because there are some skills, knowledge from such. You are, if you are the chairperson, you develop skills of handling a group, of leading. We shall also have activity, which activity involved in, so that you can So we are talking about activity-based learning. So various activities Sorry for that. So we shall also be in position to use project-based learning, like here. You can be given a task to answer those questions. Integration of knowledge and experience.
Hello. Is our teacher there?
No.
Oh, just
Okay, he's back. Fred, your microphone is muted. Fred? Teacher Fred?
I think he has network issues.
Yeah. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Sharing, for that sharing you have had, you may find that most of us, we proceed with businesses which our parents tend to move on with when we are at home. So when we are at home, we get a lot of experience from the businesses which are run from our parents. So basically, we shall use the experiences which you have. Because even before starting any project, as learners for entrepreneurship, we give you a chance to brainstorm. You come up with ideas and knowledge. So it will call upon integrating your knowledge and experience. So if your parents have businesses, please work with them, position to have more knowledge in businesses which they run. That is the reason why they are in position to extend those businesses, to extend knowledge to us, and we move on. So Isaac, we can move on to the next slide. Yeah, we are going to look at also know to and known. So basically the concept of development. So we shall look at what you people know. So as our learners, we shall not just come up with any idea to you. It will base on what you know, what you can do, and how you will be in position to assist others. If you have skills in baking, then you bring that idea of starting a business of bakery. Then some who know how to bake will assist alongside the teacher, others, to see that they develop those skills and be in position to run the school project effectively and efficiently. Then demonstrations. So you may find that we shall be in position to take you to different businesses. For example, field trips, you move out, then you see how businesses are carried on. You are in position also to experience how those customers are handled in a business. However, it is also somehow related to real life situations. So being in class all the time, entrepreneurship is a practical subject. We have to ensure that entrepreneurship is made more practical. So you may find that we shall have even experienced entrepreneurs from your hometown will come and talk to you customers, how they deal with their books of accounts. Then in real life situations, even it is what we call field attachment. You go and work somewhere for some time. So you may not have it in senior one, but as you move on, you have to experience how people work in different companies, how they handle their bosses, how they handle their juniors, how they deal with customers, how production is done, the challenges, how to overcome those challenges. Move on, Mr. Isaac. Then, when it comes to assessment, to supplement on activities which will be given, there is an activity of integration. So we say last activity to evaluate learners' ability to solve a problem through integration of the knowledge and skills and behaviors acquired in a chapter. So activity of integration, you may find that it is the assessment which will be carried out to ensure that we evaluate the ability in solving problems. Have you been in position to get knowledge, skills, values in that particular chapter? So it is a checkpoint for measuring level of learners' achievement in a chapter in line with competency. So you have to ensure that you are in position to come up with competencies, skills in a particular chapter, to ensure that before we move to the next chapter, you have got the skills, the knowledge, because you may find that with entrepreneurship, we move from one level to another to ensure that we come up with a well-established entrepreneur. So that is when we shall have the activity of integration. So let us look at the sample of activity of integration, how that activity will be, and what we expect from you learners. For example, the activity of integration can be in form of a scenario. For example, here we have Mukasa Tom is a resident of Bwaise village in Kawempe municipality. During this lockdown, he is at home without any income generating project. However, the community is generating a lot of rubbish, scrap that litters a large section of the society. The photo below was taken from Mukasa's neighborhood. So you come up with that picture in your mind. That is where Mukasa is coming from. So that is a photo which is going to help you to think critically that if Mukasa is living in such a place and in one way or the other, there is a lot of rubbish, there is a lot of scrap. Learners, which kind of business can be conducted? You put up your hand and as well what business in such a place? So the place is solid. Any contribution from members? Any idea? Joel?
You can start a cleaning business.
A cleaning business? Yeah, you may find that nowadays we have some people who are engaging in cleaning and they pay them some amount of money by KCCA. Thank you so much. Smith?
Can start up a scrap selling business.
Smith? Okay, let me have
You
you
can start up a scrap business.
Recycle business.
Okay, you can as well type in Ms. Ogwal. We can move on. Next slide. Yeah, so you will be given a task, write a letter to Mukasa advising on several business ideas. So someone has come up with the idea of cleaning, which is also good. But if you are requested to have a letter, you are supposed to know the elements of a good letter. And also those ones are supposed to be considered. For example, a flame, a letter should have request learners write letters. You mind about the address, mind about the date, mind about the salutation, mind about the body, each and everything. And you also don't forget those business ideas. Then Roman number 2, you're supposed to choose one business idea and design a market survey guide or a questionnaire that Mukasa can use to carry out a market venture. So a questionnaire, we shall look at the questionnaire, how it is supposed to be, how are you supposed to use it, then it will come to that aspect of assessment. How will the assessment be? So you may find that we shall have to the assessment will be based on classroom activities and also activity of integration. Activity of integration will contribute 20% of your marks. Then end of cycle assessment, like nowadays what we call UNEB. When you will be in position to do your exams for O level, UNEB will assess 80%. So you have to make sure that in one way or the other, you work so hard with the 20 marks you are supposed to earn in activity of integration. Then you will have some of them with 80%. So while we move on. Now we look at assessment grid. Our assessment grid, we are going to look at the output. For example, in our question number 1, the letter. How did you write the letter? So that kind of assessment, we also call it Criterion Assessment, where we use criteria 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or sometimes they are called identifiers. So It is summarized as RACE. R standing for relevancy. Were you relevant when you were giving your information, or you were off topic? When it comes to business ideas, did you single out actually those business ideas requested? If you were able to come up with those relevant business ideas, you can score. For example, if I wanted ideas, if you give around 3 or 4, you get 2. If you give 2 or 1, you can as well score 1. So you have to be relevant as regards to what you are giving. Then criteria 2, accuracy. Were you accurate in coming up with your work? Are we there? So you may find that some people here, it comes up with business idea, but cannot as well explain properly that business idea. We want accuracy when you talk about a business idea and how it can be conducted. Understand? So you may find that one way or the other, that one matters through collecting empty bottles and can easily be sold to recycle companies or recycle agents. You see that someone has brought up the business idea and accurately shows how it can be conducted, how a person can get income from such a business idea. Then we look at coherence. So coherence, it is all about being so systematic, coming out with the first obvious businesses. Some of the businesses are even carried out in our society. For example, collecting scrap and selling it to agents of recycling company. So you may find that you start with business ideas which are obvious. Then you end up with those ones which an examiner or a teacher can be able to doubt them. So if you bring out those ones, the most common ones, the most involved in basically in such places, then you earn your 3 marks. If you are not as at that level, you earn 2, even 1. Then there is 1 mark for excellency. 1 mark for excellence. Here you may find that a learner has written a letter so properly and has given those ideas. So you may find that an excellent mark is given to that learner who is outstanding, who has been in position to come up with something so unique from others. So you may find that has explained thoroughly each and everything. Then we look at assessment, how it will be recorded. So recording assessment, basically, assessment will be recorded based on the activity of integration. So C stands for chapter. So we have chapter 1, we have chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. So you may find that learner A scores 3. Then scores 3. You may find that score also. Then we go to chapter 4. Sorry, chapter 3. Chapter 3 also scores 3. Then chapter 4 also offers what? 3. So you may find that that learner in one way or the other is progressing on so well. Then we look at learner be chapter 1 scores 3. Then chapter 2 scores 2. Therefore, in chapter 2, that learner was moderate. You understand? That learner was moderate. Yet, even in chapter 3, you may find that he is also moderate. What does it mean? The learner has to ensure that he puts in a lot of effort. But because of some relaxity, in chapter 4, the learner also gets what? 2. So you may find that that learner, in one way or the other, is just what? Moderate. So he has to put in a lot of effort to be like learner A, to score at least 3. But however, you have to ensure that your target is to earn 4 to get that point 4. To get that mark for excellence. Then learner C. Learner C. Yeah. Chapter 1. Learner gets 1. Scores what? 1. Once you score 1, it means that in one way or the other, your performance is basic. You have to double your efforts. You have to make sure that, if possible, you talk with your teacher to give you a remedial in that chapter 1, because that is the basic. You are able to get a basic mark. Then chapter 2, yeah, there is improvement, but the improvement is not so much, at least getting moderate of 2. Therefore, here the learner C, is supposed also to put in a lot of effort. Then chapter 3, there was also decline. The learner getting basic 1. So also that one indicates that the competencies were not achieved. Are we there? As you may find that they were supposed to be achieved. However, there were some which were achieved, but were just basic. So you may find that that one has to be worked upon, discuss with your teacher to see how you can improve. The same applies in chapter 4. Also in chapter 4, there was a basic mark 1, which was, and so reporting. Whom are we going to report to in our work we have done? We shall report, first of all, to you, learners, because you have to know how you have performed. That is the reason, once you have done any activity of integration and you have not received your scores, you talk to the teacher so that you see how you have performed. Where possible, you improve. Where possible, you have to put in a lot of effort. If you were able to score 2, next time in the next chapter, you can score 3. Then another one you can score as well 4. Then we also have to report to the school administrators. Remember, we have to make sure that we keep records of your scores with administrators. Because in one way or the other, even if you move from one school to another, you'll be in position to have those results of yours. Then also, the parents have to know how you have performed. And I pray very hard at the end of this program, we shall assess you so that parents know what you have been in position to achieve, which skills, knowledge have you been in position to acquire. Then finally, you name. So we shall get our scores whereby they are out of 20, we shall submit them to UNEB. Then also UNEB will consider the 80% it will have to handle. Then you may be in position to have your final mark at the end of the level. Then we shall look at performance levels of learners. Once you excel and you are in position to have score 3 and above, then we shall know that you are a competent learner. So, my dear learners, try your level best to be competent learners, because that is at least a level where we shall look at that you have achieved knowledge, skills, and values in a particular subject. Then moderate, you have handled different aspects, but you have moderately acquired skills, knowledge, and competencies. So you may find that that one we can call such a learner an average learner. It is not good to be average. You are supposed to be on top, a competent learner. Then a basic learner. A basic learner, you may find that he has at least acquired some skills, but the skills are not enough to ensure that in one way or the other, that learner is so competitive on the labor market, is so competitive to move on with a particular profession. So you may find that we have to avoid such a level of basic learner. Size up, we move on to the next slide. Yeah, as I've also talked about, the competent learner, you have to make sure that all learn outcomes have been achieved with ease. So make sure that you involve yourself in each and every activity to see that you can be as well in position to achieve all the learning outcomes, the skills, the knowledge. Are you there? Where we have KUSVA, K standing for knowledge, U standing for understanding, where we have S, skills, we have also values and attitudes. So we have to ensure that you have achieved all those learning outcomes. Then moderate learner, most learn outcomes achieved enough for overall achievement. So you may find that here, some have been achieved over there, the learning outcomes, but not all of them over there. Then basic, some learning outcomes achieved, but not sufficient for overall achievement. So if you are a basic learner, then you have achieved some learning outcomes, but they are not enough for the overall performance. Besides that, we can move on. So I would like to thank the CEO of Senior One org. Remember to log in our website. You'll be in position to have work of different subjects so that you prepare yourselves. So that once you go back to school, you are different from other learners who have not been in position to have this chance of having online lessons. Remember, we have our classroom code. You'll be in position to have work from that classroom. Try your level best and attempt that work. The work will be assessed and you get your results so that you get to know if competencies in a particular chapter have been realized or not. So those are the phone numbers which can as well you can call if there is anything you want to inquire about, but please be part and partial of Senior 1 org, and we shall have to move on. We want to see you learners excelling amidst all challenges. Thank you so much for attending. We shall meet next time. Mr. Isaac.